What's up guys, macadii here, and today guys, a brand new moveset and strategy video. Well, what we're going to be doing is having a look at Necrozma and seeing some of the potential sets for it. It is a really interesting guy, and I've not actually seen it too much on the ladder. I think it's got pretty good potential, but people just don't, I don't know, talking to people, they don't seem to know exactly the best way to run it. So I've got a wide range of different ways that you could potentially run it, and what we'll do is we'll have a sort of run through, starting from what I would argue is the most viable, going down to sort of some of the more memeier ones that you may want to sort of give a go, just to sort of test and see what they're like. But if we have a look at the stats and sort of the options that it's got, this guy is a incredibly bulky guy, especially with the fact that he gets access to Prism Armor, which means this Pokemon receives 3/4 of the damage from super effective attacks. So if you go for a knockoff on it, it's only 1.5 times as effective compared to 2 times, which is actually really huge, especially when this guy gets access to Recover. He's a pretty bulky dude, and you know, with pretty decent all-round defenses, nearly, averaging, about 95 to 100 overall when you factor in the HP, defense, and SPDEF, and they're pretty good around the board as well. So it just means that, you know, you'll be taking physical and also special hits pretty decently. Speed is probably his most lackluster stat, just because it's that middling speed where if it's defensive, it's not too bad because it can outspeed walls, but you don't really want to be investing into it that much. You want to be going for like a bulkier set. More than anything. It's got really nice special attack though. 127 special attack is really reasonable, and it has a really deep move pool. When you have a look through, the amount of moves that it gets is absolutely insane, and you know, definitely in league play, I think this guy has got some pretty good potential to be able to sort of put pressure on your opponent's team, both from having coverage and being a more offensive set, or being a sort of more defensive one. But I think it also gives you flexibility within the ladder if you want to run that. So I would argue that this one's probably the best set that I've seen so far, just because it's bulky, it puts really nice offense on your opponent, and once you get rid of their dark types, or at least weaken their dark types, you can actually put, you know, tank hits really well, and then put in a lot of work offensively. So we've got the Calm Mind with Dark Pulse and Psychic, which gives you fairly neutral coverage across the board. As I said, dark types are your predominant worry with this guy, but apart from that, you seem to be hitting most things either neutrally or pretty hard, and then the Moonlight for recovery. We've got max HP there with max special attacks. So this set is designed to set up probably just one Calm Mind. You normally don't want to be setting up loads and loads. You just want to sort of set one up, makes you really bulky, hard to revenge kill, and then you basically got a free Specs on top of that, and also a free Assault Vest, which is really sweet, but you've still got your recovery, and then you can fire off hits from there. So it relies less on being able to have a few turns to set up. It just needs one turn to set up, and then it becomes immediately threatening from there. The other option you can go down is go actually for the full physically defensive set, more along the lines of like what Reuniclus does, where you're bulky, you're harder to kill, but it takes you a few turns to be able to set up from there. With a Dark Pulse, you can go for Store Power if you want to, or you can go for Psychic. Same with this guy here. Psychic gives you the advantage that it gives you the more immediate power, whereas the Store Power, obviously, once you start getting some Calm Minds up, you're going to be absolutely demolishing things. So it really depends. It's up to you exactly what you want to go for. I think for the offensive one, I would definitely just go for Psychic, because you want the option to be able to hit hard initially off the bat, and there's not much point just having that, because most of the time, as I said, you will just be clicking Calm Mind once. It's maybe a little bit more viable for the defensive one, just because you are going to be setting up sort of 2 or 3, or try and do that rather than just setting up the one. So I think it's got a little bit more potential on that. But I think, you know, give it a go and let me know which one you prefer. Then you got the more sort of standard defensive one. This guy is designed to basically speed control, and also gives you rocks options, which is really nice. It's really useful in pre-banks. There's not a huge amount of good rocks options there, and this guy functions really well as a defensive wall. You got Thunder Wave there for some speed control. You can also change that up for Toxic as well if you want to. So it's kind of up to you whether you want some speed control on a more offensive team, or whether you want to go down sort of a way to wear down their walls with some Toxics. Then we're going down the realms of some more sorts of memeier ones, but I think they've still got some potential if you want to play, if you play them right. So this one's a interesting one. This is a Rock Polish Weakness Policy set, basically taking advantage of you've got enough bulk to take at least one specially super effective hit, and then you've got the Psychic and Dark Pulse. If you can get that max speed with that weakness policy, you're going to be starting to do some really good sweeps from there. And then the Brick Break is there because that allows you to take on all the dark types. You know, there's things like Weavile and stuff like that that you're just going to demolish. You don't have to invest too much into that, because as I said, it is literally just designed to hit those dark types pretty hard. Most of the time it's quad time super effective, so you don't have to invest that much. And also, if they've already gone for the knockoff or gone for an attacking move or something like that, then you might have already activated your weakness policy, and then you can go on and sort of almost guarantee kill them from there, because you're at, what's that, 450 attack from there. Another one, which is another sort of slightly more alternative set, is whether you want dual screen support for your team. Necrozma is pretty bulky, as I've said, and being able to have access to both light, reflect and also light screens is really nice. It gives you a stealth rock setter, and then you can sort of start setting up screens from there. So it could be quite a nice initial lead if you want to, and then finally psychic to be able to give some stab to actually give you some attacking options. If you want to play it really risky, really risky, and you know for certain that you've got ways to be able to handle dark types, I don't know why that's meant to be. That's not meant to be timid. That is meant to be bold. We've got a slightly more memey one, which relies on stored power. This one, I would argue, is very memey. As I said, when I say a set's memey, I'm just putting a disclaimer. You know, give it a go if you want, but I don't think it's going to be the best set to go down. You've got the Moonlight there, with Iron Defense and Calm Mind, basically designed to make yourself as bulky as possible, and then Stored Power allows you to abuse the fact that you've got all of these stat boosts and just absolutely demolish people from there. So it's slightly interesting. As I said, very memey. You do need to get rid of the dark types, because obviously they don't get affected by Stored Power. But once they're out of the way and you get the opportunity to set up, it could have some pretty scary potential from there. So I think that's it in terms of the sort of sets and sort of how I think you should play it. So let me know, guys, what your favourite Necrozma set is. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like down below. And I will see you guys at the next one. Macadii out.